Hello and welcome to this hair tutorial series on how to make hair inside Blender and XNormal. So in my project you have your sort of thicker hair strands here, still thicker hair strands but more directional. So these will be used for the base, they'll be used for different variations. These are the less thick hair strands. And it just keeps decreasing until you have these little fine strands of hair here. So the way in which I've gone about this is, if I hide all these, what you want to do, add a plane into your project, rotate it about 40 degrees, and place it about maybe there. Also create a camera and make it orthographic. Right, there you go. So dimensions of it, 1920 by 1920. So when you go into your camera, it should look like this. You can then place your plane where you need to. Should be about there, so that's where we're going to put it. Maybe decrease the size. Decrease the size a bit, just so you can fit all your hair strands in. There you go, that's placed. Go into that, go into your particle settings down here. Create hair. Okay, so now you have your hair. It should look like that. You want to decrease the number to about 6 to start with. Segments you want 11, and that stays the same throughout the whole thing. You can increase your hair length if need be. If your hair's getting very long, you can just move that back. So yeah, you can have longer hair if you've done a female, or shorter hair for a guy. We've done a guy haircut, so I'm going to keep it about that. You want strand steps all the way to 7, and you can take the plane off by clicking Show Emitter. So for these hairs, you're going to want interpolated. That makes it look like XGen and stuff like that. Display amount for these thicker ones you want about 90, and the lower you get, so for these two down here you're going to want about maybe 70 or 60, then 40 for them, then 20 for these two up here, and they're like really thin ones, you want about 20 up there. So when you have all that done, clumping, you want clumping all the way to 1. What that's going to do is it's going to, get all your strands. So as you can see, you chose 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those interpolated hair fibers are going to go in one direction with the strands. Right, so when you have that, you're going to want to go into here, choose random, about 1. Size about 1.2. As you can see, you can decrease the randomness. The randomness makes it more curvy, I guess. Size. The lower the size, the more sort of frizzy it's going to get and more curly. So for a guy's haircut, I want this about 1.2, yeah. Maybe 1.3 or 4, depending on what you want. Threshold. You can increase, decrease. The higher it is, the more straight the hair is going to be. So you want about 0.3 for now, 0.2 for now. And depending on what you want, you can always change this. Then when you've done that, you're going to want to come out you're going to want to go into your particle edit mode, which is up here. You're going to want to choose that so you can see all the segments, and you want to do that so you disable the children, making all your hair fibers, well, not visible. Okay, so with this plane with your hair strands, you're going to want to press L to select, make sure preserve root position is off, and you're going to want to move it each strand so it fills up the space of the plane. Not the whole space, because you can't exactly get those little 6 to fill up the whole of the plane, but you just want the space of the plane to have, you know, most of it done. What I didn't explain it is L to select and G to move. I'm not sure if I did explain that beforehand. Okay, so when you've done that, you can see that. Where is it? Camera. It just adds a bit of depth to it. Just adds a bit more depth, bit of variation. So you go into camera, well, you go out of camera, go back here, select children off, and you're going to want to maybe select one at a time and comb it. Comb is up here. If you want another hair strand, you can just do that and select that. Yeah, you kind of want these hairs to go up like that. And don't make a mistake, I just did where, yeah, you want to keep that checked if you're combing them, mainly so it doesn't just make the hair strands longer, I guess. So just comb them up, because these are going to be the roots. Usually in hair you have, you know, the root that goes into your scalp, so it's not all just straight. Yeah, just keep doing this, and you want to select each strand individually so you can move it individually instead of, you know, moving random ones at a time. And once that's done, you go back into front view, and you can select one and be like, okay, I want that to go that way, and I want that one to go that way as well, but I want this little bit to flick inwards. You're just making a bit of variation with the hair strands. As you'll see, if you go into children, you can see the hair strands, and they have a little bit more, you know, variation to how they look. Go back into object mode. Yeah, you can change it a bit, make the size. You can just change it however you want. But yeah, that's how you get the sort of shape and variation to your hair strands. Now you have your hair looking like that. You can go into your sort of rendering, see how it looks. If it looks cool to you, then good. After you've done that, you want to go into camera, copy paste it, and this will be your other thick part. So maybe maybe that'll be 90, but you can change the threshold. Make sure you actually select it, change the threshold a bit, or change the randomness. Go into particle edit, change the shape of all your hair strands. You can move all these at the same time if you want. Yeah, so you do those two, the thick ones. Then when you want to do your other ones, so your less thick parts, go into it, display amount, do 60. Damn it, wrong one again. There you go, 60 and 60 for your render amount. And you see it's a lot less, got a lot less thickness to it. You can see it fit through it more. Your randomness, maybe it's 0.4. Your size is the same. maybe 0.4, go into Pascal edit and make it a lot more directional. And use the same with the next one. Object mode. Those would be the 4, ones which size. Change them. So then when you want to just rotate this for now. Like that, right? This one you're going to want to delete edit. If it's all grayed out, you do 4. Wrong one again. Delete edit. This one you're going to want to do 4. So then you got a lot less fibers. And you want to do 40. It's just a way of doing hair, and you can mess around with it. Yeah, after you've done that, so after you have all the ones you want, you're going to want to go into settings, and you're going to want to convert them into a mesh. Now you have mesh like that. You can then delete that. So now you have your hair fibers. You could do convert that, delete, convert that, delete, convert that, delete, convert that, and delete it. When you have all your meshes converted, or your all your planes converted into meshes by going here and converting, first you want to do a screw modifier, angle 0.1, steps 2, render steps 2. You want to apply it. Then you want to do a solidify, thickness of 0.003, and apply that. You want to do the same to each one of these. So screw 0.1, 2, 2. Apply it, solidify, and so forth until you get all your meshes done. So once you have all your meshes set up like that, you can render it out like that and just see how it all looks. It's quite cool to me. You then select all of them and you join to one mesh. Okay, so after you have all of them in one mesh, you go into edit mode, select all, just to make sure they're working. Yeah, select none. You want to select random. You want to change that to about 0.012. Then, after you've done that, you're going to select linked, and there you go. Then click separate, selection. You should have, if you go back into object mode, you have that, which is only a few of the hairs, and then you have that, which is a lot more of the hairs. Okay, so you then go to UV editing. Make sure that those are the ones that's selected, select all. Then you go into U for cube projection, as you can see. So that, UV, pack islands. So when you pack the islands, you then go into that, export, OBJ, and you put hair 1. as your first hair that you did. I've already done it, so I won't export again, but then you go back into layout, you do that, you then do select none, do that, you go into edit mode, make sure you do edit mode every time, do select random. You may want to increase these next time, so you might do 0.015 or 0.2. Just do that just for demonstration purposes. You then want to change the random seeds, maybe 4, just make it varied. Then select linked, make sure seam, and then after you've done that, separate selection. Just done that, you should have object mode. You should have 1, 2, 3. To do that, you go into UV editing. Make sure you select all. Go to U. Q projection, UV, back islands. And you repeat the process by export wavefront. You choose this like hair 2. You want about 7 meshes. So you want 7 of these. You want to do it 7 times, increasing that random number each time. Make sure there's 7, including your final one. When you have all 7, you make sure they're all exported. 7 hairs, and then go back out. You then, where is it? There you go. You then add a plane, rotate it about 90 degrees, and that's at 90. Place it just behind to act as the baking cake, or the baker. Go back into the camera so you can see it. It's like, you also may want to change the color of these to, I don't know, like black. Back into your camera, you can see them a bit better. Make sure the plane actually fills the whole of that screen, and then you want to duplicate that plane and place it right in front to act as the cage. Now you want to export that one, which you first did, as a low poly plane, and you want to export that as the cage, so low plane cage. Either one will work. Once you have that, you should be fine to go into XNormal. So I'll see you over there. Okay, so when you come into XNormal, you'll have windows like this. You have high definition meshes, low definition meshes, baking options. They're the 3 F's stay to. High definition meshes, you just put hair 1 into there, hair 2, and so forth, like I've done. Right, and then you put your white image. You put your white image there, 20% grey, 40% grey, 60% grey, 80%, and black, just like that. Then you go into low definition meshes, and you should have your low plane, which I showed you before, your low plane cage, and when you have your low plane cage, you're supposed to use the cage right there. So when you are baking your first texture, you go bake base texture. Make sure it's using white and black as the background. Have no padding when you're having the base texture. Have settings just like this, and choose your folder. Then you click generate maps to generate your map. You should have something that looks a lot like this right here. So when you've done that, you reset base textures as so. You then go back into your baking options, keep bake base texture there, but change it to alpha. So you change the name of your file to alpha, because that'll bake your alpha channel. When you have your alpha done, it will look like that. Or something similar. Next, we're going to need the height map. So you're going to want to choose your edge padding as 12 and pick a name for it. It could be hair, because they'll have underscore heights at the end anyway. So it could be heights like I've done, or just choose anything really. Or that's fine, and click generate maps. When you have that, it'll look like that. But you should have two, when it finally generates the map, you'll have two sliders. Drag the top one all the way to the left and the bottom one all to the right, unless the way it looks fine to you. And you just do cavity map if you want cavity, or you can do your normal map if you want your normal map. Yeah, so that's how you get all your textures from XNormal. So we're coming back into Blender just to sort of see if everything's working alright. As you can see, my hair's not bad. What you want to do is create a plane. So if I add in a plane, I'm just going to place it here for the moment and look down at it. What you want to do is go into UV editing, go into image, open. I'm going to, I made a new alpha because the background wasn't black, so I do alpha new. Changes that whole background to be like that. Go on to U, cube projection. It might already be done, but then you can move the sort of UV layout for it. You know, you could choose maybe this hair that you wanted to go to. You put the UV strip there. That's what that's going to be applied to. Then you go into shading, add a new material for it. Make sure it's principled BSDF. Then you want to add texture, image texture. This is going to be your alpha. You do that. That's going to be your alpha channel. You're going to drag that to alpha. And you want to add another one. Texture, image texture. That's going to be, where is it? Hair maps. Your ID base text baked, and that's going to be your color. Alright, then you want to go down and choose blend mode, alpha clip threshold, move down to maybe 0.3, then go back to layout, and there you go. There's your hair. I did check Substance Painter. If you bring the alpha channel in, it does work. So yeah, so that's how you get your hair to work in Blender. You probably put those, you know, with the hair cards. You probably add more subdivisions, put it onto a model's head, and that'll probably be the next video that comes out. Probably a tutorial on how to do that, but yeah, so hopefully you guys learnt something. Thank you, and see you next time.